Hey everyone, welcome to Dreadnought Mondays. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Today we are joined by Genesis Kemp. Genesis, thank you for taking the time to be here. I appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, give a little intro about yourself, what you do, and who you are.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Genesis Amaris Kemp. I am the author of Chocolate Drop in Corporate America, From the Pit to the Palace, a creative content writer, visionary, self-development advocate, and inclusion and diversity enthusiast, where I am fighting to push the needle more to get corporations as well as individuals to really talk about inclusion and diversity, and not so where it's just a check the box exercise, but where we really see it be evident in the workplace as well as outside the workplace, how we are making sure everyone is included, how we're making sure people are diverse, and how we really listen to understand where another person is coming from, and how we could be compassionate, empathetic in order to work together collectively.
Awesome. So it's quite a bit of area that you cover in that, and I think that is awesome. Sorry, my notes are over here, so I'm just like this. So don't mind that at all. So we connected through a Facebook group, and on there you talk about, and like you just mentioned, equity, inclusion, purpose, and passion.
Yes.
And with that, I want to jump into your blog, your Chocolate Drop in Corporate America. So, like, what sparked it? What kept it going? What made you want to write that particular blog and be a content writer from the get-go?
So what really led me to writing the book Chocolate Drop in Corporate America, which is now a blog page on Facebook as well, was merely frustration, being told no in corporate America, being told that I wasn't good enough to compete in the professional ranks, although I've been doing the work of a professional, just not getting recognized as one, not getting categorized as one, and not being paid as one. But I was representing the company to third-party service providers. I was traveling on the company dime, and I was doing all the qualifications of a professional, just getting undercompensated and, quite frankly speaking, undervalued as an employee. So they wanted me to do the work. They wanted me to carry out all the business, but they didn't respect me enough in order to help me move up in the company. So that was a problem. And it was during a performance review where I just pretty much said enough was enough. And I just literally pulled out my phone and I wrote down the words chocolate drop in corporate America, wrote about 3 sentences, and I left it alone. But that was the way of me getting my negative thoughts out of my head onto, my notes app, and just rechanneling my energy, because had I reacted in a different way with my supervisor, the discussion would have went south real quick.
I like how you said getting that negative thoughts out of your head instead of reacting how you were feeling at the moment. Thank you. Because it's so important. It's so easy for us to just react on the spot, and then we're going to regret it instantly quite often, or the next day, depending on and stuff. And what made it so that you pursued it or whatever, instead of, because sometimes we write those down and that just kind of helps stress relief or get it out of our system per se. But what was your train of thought process? Sorry. Train of thought process with keeping it going, with picking that blog back up or those notes back up and then turning it into a book and a Facebook blog?
So just meeting another author who was just really gleaming in her area. I was just very enthused by the fact that she took ownership of her own time. She wasn't punching a clock per se at a 9-to-5 job. She wasn't logging in during a set time to fuel someone else's dreams and etc. So I was just really intrigued by her. So I just met her one day for coffee. I asked her if she wanted to meet me. And it was in that coffee chat where the book kind of came to life, because she asked me, hey, have you thought about writing a book? Because I showed her some of my other writing pieces, which were private to me, but writing for me is therapeutic. And she's like, your writing is very good. Like, you should definitely write a book. So she gave me her publisher's information. Then I think a day after our conversation, she says, hey, there's a contest that my publisher is running for new authors. I think you should really enter it with your chocolate drop piece. So I read the requirements and I entered my chocolate drop piece. Of course, I had to write a little bit more in order for it to meet the requirements. And everything kind of just fell in place. I ended up winning the contest, first prize. I definitely had to, put my fingers to the keyboard and really start typing because I did not have a book. So part of the contest was to produce a book. So I had to really produce a book. And that challenged me to, really step outside of my comfort zone. And it no longer was, a figment of my words, but it was something that was starting to manifest and something that was starting to transform. So I really just took time to recite all the things that had went on with this Fortune 500 oil and gas company from 2013 all the way up to 2020 is when the book came out. And I packaged it well in a book, and I was authentic me. I was unapologetically me, and I put all the stuff in the book. And the book has really fueled the blog because I definitely want to give people on social media, a chance to know me outside of the book. So know the author that is behind the book. Okay, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What are some tips and tricks that could help them get out of the rat race and, run with their purpose, fuel their passion, and etc.
Thank you. I like that. That's so cool that you, in a way, you entered the contest and you were in a way forced to step up and perform, if you will. Now you're like, oh crap! All right, I said I'll do it now. And oftentimes that's what it takes for some of us to get whatever done is agreeing to a deadline or a commitment and stuff. Instead of just getting it done on our own free will, it takes that extra push. And then with that, I want to ask, how do you define passion versus purpose? Some people use those interchangeably. So what do you define as a passion and as a purpose?
So passion to me is something that you can do all day, all night, that you absolutely love, and you could do it without getting paid for. You don't necessarily want a monetary thing attached to it because it's something that you're good at. Purpose is something that is rooted in your core. It's like your destiny assignment and calling on your life. It's what you were born to do. It's that one thing that you can do that someone says, oh my gosh, you were born to be a dancer. You were born to be a singer. Because anyone can be passionate about something. Passionate could be something that you fall in love with. You try it once and you absolutely love it. Like, for example, people who are skiers, they started out doing it as a hobby. That hobby turned into a passion, and then now they're pursuing that passion. Whereas there are some people who wake up and, they have a great voice. Their voice carries and, they're a singer because it's rooted in their DNA. They could sing without having someone coach them on how to sing or how to carry a note. They could wake up and they're naturally good at it. Passion is something that you kind of grow into, something that you love, if that makes sense.
Okay. Great. Yeah, thank you for giving us that. And then,
Wait, question really quick. What does passion and purpose look like to you? Is it the same or different?
To me, they can be both different and the same. Mm-hmm. Like you said, the passion is something that you are very strongly interested in, and you pursue it and grow into it and learn about it or whatever. And purpose is, something that you were born and destined to do. And sometimes they can be the same or, symbiotic, maybe not exactly the same all the time, but serve the same purpose or get to the same end result. So for me, I have a bunch of different passions. I'm passionate about something, but it's not like my life's mission. I love camping. I love camping. I YouTube camping. I go camping as much as I can, but it's not my life's mission. I'm not going to change the world by being the perfect camper or whatever, you know, but like with this podcast we're doing right now, you know, it's a purpose and a passion at the same time for me. You know, I'm still learning. I didn't silence my phone, so I'm not perfect at it. I'm still learning how to do it, tips and tricks and all that stuff. I'm still nervous every time I get in front of a camera and microphone, you know, but it's something that I enjoy doing now more. I'm not as scared to do it as I used to be, but I feel it's something that it fulfills me. It's something that I'm supposed to be doing. The right ears will hear the messages that we share. So it's 2 in 1 in this instance for me.
Nice.
So thank you. Thank you for asking that. You know, it made me think for a second, but that's why we ask questions, right?
Yeah, because everyone has a different perspective, but then once you flip the script, then you think about it and may internalize it different. But just because you internalize it different doesn't mean that it's wrong or it's right. It's just something that we need to be aware of, and it's part of self-awareness, as well as a way that we could practice self-care, because your purpose and your passion could also couple with self-care and self-awareness.
I love that in a different perspective, because my passion may not be the same as yours and vice versa, but they can be equally as important in their proper roles. You know, so I love how you pointed that out. So that's a great segue into my next question. How you mentioned when you were first writing your book or whatever, most of it was like internal notes for you, just kind of for yourself thing, and then your friend suggested that you publish it, so to speak. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You know, I'm gonna guess and be safe to say that there were some thoughts of, I don't know if my book's, you know, what if I don't spell things right, or what if I don't say it right? You know, what if my book isn't successful? Or how do you get out of that, or how do you help people, or what do you say to people to get out of that? You know, my passion is silly, or my passion is dumb, or, you know, my passion of camping may seem ridiculous to others. You know, what would you suggest to others to do it anyways?
So the first thing I would say, do it afraid and stop worrying about what ifs, because what ifs can cause you to limit yourself. The next thing is, don't let fear, false evidence appearing real, condition you to the point where it's crippling you. And the third point is, kick stinking thinking to the curb. Like those negative thoughts that are popping up in your head, just think of those negative thoughts as a challenge, and it's pushing you towards your future. So whenever a negative thought pops into your head that says, oh, I'm not good at this, just say, I am good at this, and start formulating your I am statements. And when you start to say your I am statements, it builds your confidence, and your confidence is going to allow you to walk into the space of the unknown. It's going to allow you to step outside of your comfort zone, because when you're confident, no one can tell you what you aren't. And it will give you the momentum to propel you to the next stage. So the first thing to do is, like I said, shut out stinking thinking, do it afraid, because stop worrying about what ifs, because if you keep worrying about what ifs, you're never going to do what you were destined to do, because you're so busy psyching yourself out versus running your race and being the best version. And another thing I tell people is, we are all imperfect people working on becoming better versions of ourselves on a daily basis. So you have to give yourself grace and mercy in order to keep excelling in your life. Because if not, are you just living, or are you existing?
I like that. You know, it gives you permission to act, to move forward, to, you know, trial and error, to make mistakes, you know, but you learn and you grow, and you'll figure it out. You'll feel fulfilled. You know, I know, at least that's what it is for me. So I appreciate that. How would you live your passion? I think it ties along with kind of what you said, you know, quit overthinking it and those limiting doubts. But, you know, it's so easy to get in those traps of, I don't know how to start, I don't have time for it, I know nothing about it, those sort of things. What would you add to that?
So I would definitely encourage the listeners who are listening, start with a vision board. So get all the things that you envision to see manifest or you want to see happen in your future. And whether you need to cut it out, whether you need to do an electronic visual board or a hard copy visual board, start with a blank canvas. And on that blank canvas, you're going to put up all the things that you're aspiring to do. And it's like writing your vision and making it plain, because once you put something out in front of you, that becomes a target and it helps you focus on what you want to achieve. And as you begin to focus, you're zeroing in on that thing and you're working towards that. And once you have it out in the evidence, it's a way of holding yourself accountable. And put it somewhere where you're always going to walk by, like close to your front door or your bedroom or your mirror or wherever, because you want it to be a reminder to say, hey, I put that there for a reason and I'm going to work hard to attain what I put there. The other part is you could start writing little sticky notes around, and everyone uses their computer. So you could put the sticky notes on your computer with like your goals and your targets, and you could put your I am statements there. You could put, for 2021, I want to accomplish this, and this is how I plan to accomplish it, and put it there so it's evident and you could see it. Another thing that I do to help me with my passion is, if it's something that I'm just starting out in and I'm just getting my feet wet, I'm not just going to try it once, but I'm going to try it 3 times so I could really feel it out to see, okay, is this for me? And is it really a passion, or is it something that I just wanted to try to check off the list?
Thank you. And I'll add to that, those goals on your vision board are yours. You don't need approval from Facebook. You don't need approval from your family. They're for you. What may look silly to me could be totally passionate to you, and vice versa. I've got things on my wife gives me crap about because she thinks it's kind of silly, but we all have our own different goals and stuff, but she's very supportive. So it's also important to find that support system behind you to help you fill those passions and purposes. And
yeah. And so another good quote I heard is, stop waiting for, other people to validate you, because it says if you live for man's approval, you would die by their disapproval or something like that, because so many people are waiting for other people to validate them when they could validate who they are on their own.
Absolutely. I love that. And then it ties right into a meme that I love, and it shows a 20-year-old, I got plenty of time. Then 30-year-old, I still have time. Then 40-year-old, I'll do it next week. Then pretty soon they're 80, are like, oh crap, I wish I'd done it. So don't wait, just get started, wherever you're at with whatever you have, figure it out and get started and somehow fulfilling that passion. So awesome. And Genesis, thank you for being here. I've appreciated it. It's been a great conversation. One more question. If people wanted to connect with you, learn more about you, your book, your blog, where can they find you at?
I'm on Facebook as Genesis, that's Genesis Amaris, Amaris, last name Kemp, Kemp. I have an author page as well under Chocolate Drop in Corporate America on Facebook. If they want to reach me via email, they can contact me at genesisamariskemp@gmail.com. My lovely book, Chocolate Drop in Corporate America, is available on Amazon in paperback for $13. I have a Kindle version available as well for $2.99. And if you subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, the book is free of cost since you pay a membership to be a Kindle Unlimited.
Thank you. And we'll post those links as well, so you'll have those right there. Again, thank you so much for being that. And Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening or watching or whichever. And please feel free to reach out and let us know how we can help you. Dread no Mondays.